I will start with defrosting my car. So here is the status, 97% state of charge. 2 days ago it was 100% when during charging state of charge hit 100%. Last night it was 99%, so overnight at minus 19 we lost 2% of state of charge. So I will go down. Just for the reference, I will go to climate to try to find, okay, and then I will hit defrost, and I will make sure that I also got my heated steering and seats, and I don't need a passenger heated seat. Alright, now I will go get my clothes on, and you see interior minus 13, exterior minus 11. Okay, I will go get my clothes. I will drop my daughter at school, and I will come back in the chapter 2. So I am about to set off. It was mentioning that I will be driving on a studded winter tires from Hankook, and these are of a different than stock size. These are 255 50 19, and even though they do not clear much over there from the suspension, it's still no problem after like 5,000 kilometers at least. So once again, 255 50 19 Hankook Winter iBike X, non-Tesla and non-EV specific. And I will also tell you that I am driving with a bunch of equipment. Also in my trunk, it's a full bag of tools, including a hydraulic jack and power tools. So this takes a bit of weight. This is like 15 kilos. And also in my trunk I have my work clothes. And let's see, the preconditioning so far has taken 4%. Let me open trunk, and I need to take my clothes out and drop them in the trunk. So by the time I arrive in 2 hours, they will be a bit warmer. Okay, let's close here, and then I will move around. And I will just drop this over here. So when I arrive, this will be a bit more air conditioned. And basically off we go. And this is absolutely normal daily commute review. Nothing set up in real winter day in Norway. Charge port closed, and it's nice and toasty here. It's also worth mentioning that you see I am running on a slightly reduced tire pressure to have more grip at this temperature, what is minus 9 right now. Tire pressure is around 2.6 bar all around, and this allows me to have a little softer ride and better grip, and I'm not going below that. That's the minimum which is acceptable, I think, and allows actually why it's not good to drive below that pressure is because then the dirt, maybe the snow in these winter conditions, will not be able to properly get cleaned out of the protector in the tire itself. Okay, so the preconditioning took 4%, and I will be updating you like maybe every 30 40 kilometers on my way. It takes exactly 100 kilometers to drive to my work. Then I will be leaving my car over there outside. It's not gonna be that cold uh, at my workplace. It's gonna be around -4 today, but on my way it's gonna be still around -10, -11. Mostly snowy roads, a lot of tunnels, and also the speed will be not so high. It will be everywhere from 30 kilometers per hour up to 80 maximum according to the speed limit, and in these conditions it's hard to go over 80. Another important update, I will be also driving in slippery mode. So if I go in dynamics and then traction control, I will drive in slippery mode. Even though it tends to go back to auto, almost every time I park car and then start driving, it always goes to auto again. I will still try to always, I will still will always select a slippery surface, and what it does, it, let me pop up this, slippery surface recommended to be used when the roads are slippery, such as on snow, ice, or wet roads, to distribute traction evenly across all tires. So it's kind of always all-wheel drive. Just dropped off my kid at school, and the tire pressure updated a couple of minutes ago. It's 2.6 bar, and I have 102 kilometers exactly to go. I will keep the climate on, of course, it's a real world test, plus 18 degrees Celsius. I don't like when it's too warm inside. And also, let's check dynamics, and you see here, traction control, it is switched from slippery surface to auto now. Now I will go to slippery surface again. That's a little issue which I think it's a little annoying. And also worth mentioning for the complete transparency of this test that I am using a chill mode in winter. Since the winter season started, I switched to acceleration in a chill mode to let the car use a bit less power during acceleration in order to avoid unnecessary spinning of the wheels. Since this is an electric car, dual motor and quite powerful, it has a lot of instant torque, and that is something nobody wants on a slippery surfaces, on ice and in snow. And as you can see, the snow is very well packed. The last time it was snow, it was like 5-6 days ago. Since that, it was cleaned. In this area, like more on the countryside, it was not so greatly clean. Neither that many cars drove over it. So we have still quite some packed snow over here. But when I will go to sort of the highway, the roads will be a bit cleaner, but still slippery. So it's important for me to have the chill mode always on, and slippery surface traction control activated, which I have to activate every single time I step from the car out and get back in. Alright, and you see, I'm trying to engage the high beams and not happening. That's the topic of the video I made a couple of days ago. So check the pop-up link here above about the Tesla Matrix headlights, the bad side of Tesla Matrix headlights. When they work, they are excellent. When they don't work, they are a bit annoying. Okay, I will update you in 30-40 kilometers during my trip in order to keep this video short. And stay tuned, see you in the next chapter. Alright, here is the update as I promised. So I drove 33.6 kilometers so far in this commute, and consumption is since charge. Since charge is not correct because the car was stationary for 2 days at my parking place at home. So the current drive can be more accurate than it's 222.4 watt hours per kilometer. At this place now I have minus 15 degrees Celsius and the distance was 33.6 kilometers. And I'm using AC. I cranked up a little bit to 19.5 from 18, and I don't like AC in auto, so I'm using manual. I only blow up so my windshield does not get foggy, and I blow here at like foot wells so my feet stay warm. And I'm not using any of vents here on the dashboard. And also I have a heated steering wheel but no heated seat. Pretty normal, typical standard driving condition. I will take you for a little drive here and then I will just continue my drive again. And since I did not put the car in park, I am still in slippery surface traction control and in chill mode, of course. The roads are, as you see here, snowy and slippery, actually very slippery with a very well packed and ice like snow. Alright, just a short ride. What can I say? Even at this state of charge, okay, so I departed, it was 93%, now it's 81. I consumed 12% for driving, and as we remember, what was that? 3 or 4% went to preconditioning the car, to defrosting the car. But still, even when I departed home at 93% state of charge, I was still driving with one pedal only. Because Tesla, in this model, I think that's where they started to blend uh, friction brakes and regen and actually allow user to only use acceleration pedal, remaining the one pedal drive feel and sort of habit. So even if the state of charge of the battery is high at 93% and there is not much regen braking happening because battery is not able to accept so much charge. This even happens at 98, 99% state of charge. I as a driver can still just drive with one foot, and if needed, car will engage the friction brakes anyway, and I don't have to touch the brake pedal at all. That's super cool. Right, another update. Now I am more than halfway through my 100 kilometers long commute. As you can see, since charge 58 kilometers, and I realized that these metrics, the current drive and the since charge, are only different by 2 kilometers because I stopped at school to drop my daughter off, and that was 2 kilometers from my home when I unplugged the charge cable to the school. So let's take this metric as the one which is correct. So 258 watt hours per kilometer so far. It's still sub-zero, minus 13 degrees Celsius. Now I am in a more rural area and the roads are not as clean. And also the one update, the tire pressure went up a bit from 2.6 up to 2.7 bar, and I will show you the area here a little bit. So let me fix the camera here, and you can see the same what I see basically. Yeah, if I do like that. Alright, now I can continue. And so I was using a bit of basic autopilot in a tunnel, like before the previous update. Now, since there is not much road markings visible through the snow on the road, I'm not doing that, and also it's quite slippery. The road is very narrow, so I don't want to be dragged somewhere in the pile of snow outside of the main road. And you see, the road is kind of the washboard here because there was a snow car cleaning the road, and from that grab, what is left now feels like a washboard. That's why I want to keep my tire pressure a bit lower than recommended, but not so low to go critical, just for more comfort. So far it works great and it does not affect so much on the range. I was having a ride up to 380 kilometers on a bit warmer day. I mean, on a warmer day, still in winter, that was everywhere from -1 to +5 degrees. There is a video on that range test. It will be also in a link above, so you can check that video as well. Check the links in the description. Also, I recommend you checking the comment section. I will pin some link to my post where I precisely describe my tires with Hankook winter tire, iPike X studded tires, and what I mean by that is you'll see how much exactly that tire weighs of my particular size, 255. So it's a factory wide. It's 5% taller sidewall, 50%, and still 19 inches. I was trying to fit 18 inches tire on a Model Y Juniper, 18 inches rim, original rim from Tesla Model 3, air rim, and I mean it did fit, but the clearance from the brake caliper was too small, so I decided not to install any 18 inches rims, but instead I decided to go and install just a 5% taller sidewall, and so far it works awesome. I am 25 kilometers away from my destination. Oh, meaning that you see how nice are the views over here, and also on the other side of the bridge. So 25 kilometers away, meaning that 3/4 of the route are behind me, and so far temperature remains at around from around -11, -13 Celsius up to like -7, what I have right now. And since this is 3/4 of the route, let me update you on the consumption. I will stop here, but I will not put the car in park. I will just show the metrics. So what we have here, tire pressure here. So since charge, it is 75 kilometers, 231 watt hours per kilometer. And considering the temperature right now and during the drive so far, this winter season, this is the highest consumption I had, because this is the coldest day, and from 93% I'm down to 68%. But I'm confident that I will have enough battery to go back home, and not only to go back home, but also to pass by my office, because that's what I need to do today. And overall, with me going to the office and back home, my typical round trip commute distance is 247 kilometers. That's what I told you in the beginning, 250. And I will arrive, as Tesla estimates now, by the way, at 62%. This is very accurate. And then I will leave my car outside for 3.5 hours. So maybe I will go back. Maybe I will lose 2% by that, maybe. And I will still have 60% for another 150 kilometers. This will be very sufficient. Alright, we have seen a bit of nice landscapes, and I will come back and update just 8 kilometers before, because I will be going in very deep, 270 meters deep below the water surface tunnel, and I will start recording just before that, and keep recording until I reach my destination. I'm approaching the final stage. It's only 8 kilometers left to my destination. Here I will be going down and entering the tunnel over there. The tunnel is 6 kilometers long, and so far you see the tire pressure rose. It's I would say 2.8 bars everywhere in every tire except rear left, and I am 91.6 kilometers. Consumption 229 almost. Temperature is a bit higher, -8, since we are approaching to the west coast of Norway, going to Hitra Island. Over there, normally it's warmer, since it's just in the middle of the ocean. And state of charge 63%, and the Tesla estimates 61 on arrival. So for this final stage, going through the tunnel, I recommend that you stay tuned with me. I will keep the camera on. I will also lock it so it does not rotate, and I will merge now, and in the tunnel I will actually on the way down gain couple of percent into my battery state of charge, and the same amount of energy I will consume again to go up of the tunnel. Tunnel is very deep, it's 270 meters below the water surface, and it's very steep. It's 10%. Uh, what's that? 10% inclination. Yes, that's the word. Okay, so far the consumption is a little higher because I mentioned that this is the coldest day so far in this winter season, and still I remain confident that I will manage to go another 150 kilometers and come back. The only thing, when I come back home, I will be in a pretty low state of charge, and then I use my home charger, and I'm trying to use it a bit limited with maximum typically 7, 8 or 9 amperes output, so that I do not exceed a certain tariff for my electricity and unnecessary spend much more money on electricity than needed. So, saying that, I mean that it just takes a bit longer at home to charge from 10% until another 90, 95, 100, and I need those 100, you see, 10%. So, and I need those higher state of charge because my commute is quite long. So typically in the tunnel it's 5,700 meters, and there is a speed camera. So I'm approaching with a 63%. I engage basic autopilot and I go almost to the speed limit, and thus the car will regen brake for me by itself, and I will not be getting any speeding tickets, which are really high here in Norway. The only thing to keep in mind, you need to apply slight force on the steering wheel, and when approaching the trucks, sometimes to avoid phantom braking, I need to force press on acceleration a little bit to let the car understand that I actually want to keep going. So we started at 63%, and by the time we reach the lowest point in the tunnel, maybe I will get 64 or 65, and eventually I will leave the tunnel with the same like 63%, meaning I will go in and out of the tunnel almost 6 kilometers for free. So, if you have not yet subscribed to my channel, definitely subscribe and smash like if you are getting value from this video. Go and check the description of the video. There are other links to my other YouTube channels. Go and check the comment section to know more about winter tires I'm driving now, the Hankook iPike X studded winter tires, as well as the Michelin Cross Climate, what was it? Cross Climate 2 I have? Yeah, I think so. All season tires. Those will be the fully Tesla spec tires. Okay, now I'm at the lowest point. You see, I gained 1% state of charge, and basically I keep the autopilot on the way up as well. So I'm just setting the speed limit 80, and just car takes me up, and it estimates arrival with 63%, which is gonna reduce actually because I'm going uphill now. But anyway, that's still pretty amazing. And since charge, the consumption now is recalculated. It's 218, so it stays within 220 watt hours per kilometer. And that's awesome. And I think when I was making a test at a higher temperature, around 0 degrees average temperature through the day, the consumption was like 200 or 196 watt hours per kilometer. But now I started at minus 15, then on the way in the middle it was minus 15, minus 13. Now here at the entrance into the tunnel it was minus 8. At the exit of the tunnel I expected it to be minus 6, minus 5. And my consumption only increased by 10%. That's pretty amazing. I mean, for the work purposes, especially if you have long commutes, Tesla Model Y is just an awesome car. It not only saves you money, but it actually allows you to make some money. Because if you are using the car for the work purposes, I believe on most of the jobs in the companies, you get compensated by the mileage, and the longer you drive, the more you drive. Having a efficient car allows you to not only compensate your expenses, but even get something left above it. Above it. Oh, you see, it's so much slippery here. Okay, so my work is there behind the corner, and I will be finalizing the video just in a moment. Alright, here is my parking lot. And what do we have here? So I arrived, let me see, as I mentioned, 99.8 kilometers since charge. Average consumption 229.2 watt hours per kilometer, and I consumed 22.9 kilowatt hours. State of charge from when I left home at 93 dropped to 61. My tire pressure is, you see, 2.8 bars, so it warmed up a bit, and over here is minus 3, warmer than I expected. And that was it. So uh, stay tuned for the next chapter, because I will come back in 3-4 hours maybe, and then on the way back, let's say instead of doing updates every 30 kilometers, maybe I will do updates every 50 kilometers, and still try to keep this video short. Smash like, and just the new chapter starts now. Hello again, you are joining me now 3.5 hours later from when I arrived here in the morning to my job site, and as you can see, the battery state of charge from 61% dropped to 59, considering that I am preconditioning the car. I have been preconditioning the car over past 10 minutes. It's nice and warm here. I am about to go on my work. It's a 115 kilometers trip, and the last metrics look like that. So we will refer now since charge 99.9 kilometers and 229.7 watt hours per kilometer, 22.9 kilowatt hours so far consumed. So for the sake of keeping this video short, I will update you after I arrive to my work 115 kilometers from now, and then I will also update you by the end of my round trip commute when I arrive at home. So far, the estimation is I arrive to my work with a 21% state of charge, and to go to my home that will be more like another 28 kilometers. So I will arrive home with roughly 15% state of charge. So that is the plan, and I don't expect to have any other numbers or metrics. This will stay pretty much consistent at around 220 229 watt hours per kilometer, but the temperature will drop. Now it's a -6, and on my way it will be everywhere from -11, -15, -13, and when I arrive at home it's also expected around -13. So I decided to update you a little bit because now I want to go shopping and I want to keep my climate on. So I am so far 166 kilometers since the morning commute. So since the last update I drove 67 kilometers, and as you can see the average consumption is still 229.6 watt hours per kilometer. And at -15 here I will go and keep the climate turned on over here, and now I am at 37% state of charge. I will try to be quick. Most likely it will take under 20 minutes for me to go get what I need, and I will do then a quick update afterwards when I come back to see how many percent did the car consume to keep the climate on. Maybe I will also keep my seat heated at -15 outside Celsius and 19.5 set on my climate display. Okay, stay updated. So I'm back from shopping and I spent 35 minutes exactly on shopping. The temperature went from -16 to -14, and the state of charge dropped from 37 to 35%, and I had my seat heated all the time and the temperature remained 19.5. It's still toasty here. I will actually reduce the heated seat and I will keep my steering, and of course, as I like, I will go in dynamics, and traction control I will set to slippery surface. Alright, and the next update will be like 40-45 kilometers from this spot. So I have just completed the second long stretch of my commute. I came from my work site to my office. Here is the metrics. Here are the metrics. So when I left, I had 99.9 kilometers. Now it's 213. So it's exactly 114 kilometers of stretch. And consumption, it used to be 200. Hold on. It used to be 229.9. Now it's 230.9. And when I left, the car estimated state of charge on arrival 21%, and I have 20% state of charge, and temperature is still pretty low. It's -10 degrees Celsius, and we need to account that I stopped for 35 minutes and I kept the climate on and I consumed 2% on that. So whatever Tesla predicts is always consistent and always accurate, and here is the proof. And I need to leave now for like another 20 minutes, and instead of switching off the climate and letting car to cool down and then boosting the climate again to warm up the car, what I will eventually do, I will just again keep the climate on, do my tasks at the office and come back, and maybe I will lose another 1 or 2% since now it's not minus 16, but it's just minus 10. Okay, and then I will just go up here and oh, now you see, now the keep climate is unavailable because my state of charge is 20%. Alright, and that's fine. Alright, I made it home, and let's look on the metrics. So the total trip since charge today in the morning is 248.2 kilometers, and I consumed 58.7 kilowatt hours. Average consumption 236.5 watt hours per kilometer, and this is including my stay in the middle of my trip for half an hour with the climate keep function on. I was also preconditioning a car a few times before the second long stretch, and I arrived at home after all with a 5% state of charge left. And just to summarize, I was driving in winter conditions. By the way, temperature outside is still minus 10 degrees, which is quite cold. A lot of snow on the roads. I was using slippery mode traction control, meaning that it was sort of all-wheel drive all the time during this 248.2 kilometers. Actually, I drove a little more than that, like 3% more, which will be like 8 kilometers more. So 250 kilometers, as I promised in the morning, was my overall total commute, and I made it running on the tires with a little lower than recommended pressure. You see, 17 minutes ago, the pressure at 2.6 bar. And I also made it on non-Tesla winter approved EV specific tires. I mean, tires don't necessarily have to be Tesla winter approved, but I mean, I made it not on Tesla designed EV specific tires. And the tires were actually of the bigger size. And these tires, the Hankook iPike X, they are quite heavy. So definitely check out the link in the comments to see how exactly these tires look like and how much they weigh. They are quite heavy. I mean, much heavier than the summer tires which came with my Tesla. Those ones were Hankook as well. And I made it on non-Tesla rims, which are just a little heavier than Tesla cross-flow rims, which come with Model Y Juniper originally. And the rims I used, they are not aero rims. So if you take a look, there are no aero caps, and 5% taller sidewall here. And I still average 232 watt hours per kilometer. As I said earlier, whatever Tesla predicts, the battery management system is very, very consistent and reliable. So, and I left in the morning with let's put it that way. I started at 96%. I turned on defrost function. Let's take this also into consideration, and I arrived with 5%. So I consumed 91%. Let's take it 90%, and I made 250 kilometers. Meaning, for the 100%, you can get 10% more, 25 kilometers more, 275, 280 kilometers on a full battery from 100 to 0 in winter conditions, in the weather anywhere from -17 with a maximum of -6, with lots of snow on the road, with the all-wheel drive, and with the car being a bit loaded, let's say, with some cargo, and that's it. I mean, it's excellent result. Not many electric cars in summertime can consume as little as 236.5 watt hours per kilometer, and Tesla Model Y, being a 2000 kilos heavy SUV in wintertime with all-wheel drive on tires with lower pressure, and on the heavier tires with studs, meaning with a good grip and bad rolling resistance, makes 275 kilometers from 100 to 0 with consumption as little as vast majority of other electric cars does in summertime. And I was using air conditioning all the time, heating most of the times. I mean the heated seats, and I highly recommend Tesla. And there are only few little things which I wish Tesla can fix with the software, and those are kind of fixable things. I drive a lot. The car definitely pays off. If you care as much as I do about a car, also drive a lot, then I believe you need to check the videos here in the pop-up video cards regarding the really good car care products, specifically the car shampoo, what I use, as well as other videos from me. Thank you for watching. Smash like if you did get value from this video, subscribe to my channel, and I will see you in the next review. Bye.